Hi everyone, and welcome back to Good Book Hunting. This is a feature where 4 Athenaeum librarians use the books that you have most requested to find new books to read in the meantime, because nothing is worse than being person like 301 on a hold and having nothing to read in the meantime. Or maybe there's a new release and you're lucky enough that you did get a hold of it and you want to read something else like it. That is what we are here to do. Each week we showcase a different resource so that you can use a whole bunch of them on your own as well to help you find new recommendations for the last book you read that you really enjoyed, or the last author that you read that you really enjoyed. There's always a list from these 4 resources that's about 20 books long, so we're here for the reading. Today, I am going to show you how to use the C.W. Mars Overdrive catalog. This is different from the library catalog you might be used to using. That's what Olivia is going to be using. This is for ebooks and e-audiobooks. And we did show you this last month as well and discovered that C.W. Mars Overdrive is not always the best for book recommendations, but if you want an ebook, an e-audiobook, this is where you'd need to go to get those. So it's important to know how to use it. Like I said, well, I show you this. Olivia will use the catalog, Erica will use NoveList, and Anne will use a brand new resource called Taste Dive, which we showed you how to use last week. So this week we are using The Law of Innocence by Michael Connelly. This is the 6th book in the Mickey Haller series. It is a Lincoln lawyer novel. And according to the brief description, on the night he celebrates a big win, defense attorney Mickey Haller is pulled over by the police, who find the body of a former client in the trunk of his Lincoln. Haller is immediately charged with murder, but can't post the exorbitant $5 million bail slapped on him by a vindictive judge. So Mickey Haller has been framed, and he needs to, not be framed for a murder he didn't commit. So I am going to share my screen and kind of show you how you would use the C.W. Mars Overdrive catalog. And while we do that, these guys will go about searching as well, and then we'll all come back together and give you our book recommendations, which I can already tell you, having pre-looked at this, that their recommendations will all be better than mine. All right, so this is the homepage of the cwmarsoverdrive.com. Essentially what this looks like from the browser. You might be more familiar with this on your phone or your tablet, because the Overdrive app is an app you can use, or Libby. So again, you might be a little bit unfamiliar with the browser, but it's essentially the same thing. So you have subjects that you could click on if you were just here and searching. This is really fantastic because it breaks up fiction and nonfiction into a bunch of awesome categories. You can also say, hey, I want an ebook, an audiobook, a magazine, or a video, and then it breaks it down from there. One of my favorite buttons is here under collections. There's available now and new. So it breaks up the new into ebooks and audiobooks, and then also further there between adult, kids, and teens. But available now is really awesome, I feel, because when I'm ready to read, I want to read now. I don't want to just fill a wait list with new books. So when you click on available now, it gives you lists of books that are available for you to download right at that second. So that's really nice. This purple bar here means that it is available. If you were to get a white bar with a wait list, that means that you will have to get in line for a copy. So when we search, The Law of Innocence comes up here and says title. Click on that. And we get a long list of things, but obviously we are looking for these. There's a wait list on both of them, and then audiobook and ebook are down here. Now, if you just know that this is what you want, you can place a hold from right here as long as you're signed in. We're gonna click on it. So 0 of 49 copies are available. So in the CWMAR system, there are 49 copies and 49 copies are checked out. And if you click this little button here, it tells you that there are 114 people waiting in total and 2 people waiting per copy, which actually is not that terrible. You also get the description. This is what I was reading from earlier. You can get details, reviews from sources like Library Journal and Publishers Weekly, and you can also read a sample. Over here, it will tell you the subjects, fiction, literature, mystery, and the languages in which it is available. If you are excited that Michael Connelly has released book 6 in a series, but you're not sure what the rest of the books are, you can click on this, and it will bring you to a list of the other books in this series. However, it doesn't give you the number. It sorts by date added, which suggests that they go backwards, so the first book would be on the bottom, but I found that that is not always the case. You do have to click into them to find out. And again, that place a hold button is right here. This would just say check out if it was available. But what we're also looking at is this tab, you may also like. And again, when you click on this, these books are not that great. And some of them are available, some of them aren't. But let me just go over a couple of these titles so you can get a sense of what it is that we're looking at. This first one is Goofballs, The Mysterious Talent Show Mystery by Tony Abbott. This is available, and it's also a children's book. It is an ebook. Suggested for fans of Dave Pilkey, who's the guy behind Dogman. I don't know how that relates at all to Michael Connelly, but there you go. It also suggests the novels of Gillian Flynn. This is an ebook you can get that has both Gillian Flynn's Sharp Objects and Dark Places. So again, you'd have to go on a wait list, but you'd get 2 books for the wait of 1. This is an audiobook by Nora Ephron called Heartburn, read by Meryl Streep, which might be fun. But it's about a side-splitting novel about the breakup of a perfect marriage. I don't remember that being any part of The Law of Innocence. It also suggests Fraud by Anita Bruckner. This is again an ebook. And this is actually a mystery. What has happened to Anna Durant, a solitary woman of a certain age who has disappeared from her London flat, and why has it taken 4 months for anyone to notice? So getting a little bit closer. And the last one is What Color is Your Parachute? A Practical Manual for Job Hunters and Career Changers. The 2013 edition. So not only is this out of date, it is not relevant. So once again, we've discovered that the recommendations from Overdrive are, I don't know what their algorithm is, but it's really silly. But if you are having trouble getting a copy, if you are interested in ebooks, e-audiobooks, using Overdrive for that is incredible. And it's been the way that I've gotten all of my ebooks over the last 2 years and all of my audiobooks as well. So highly suggest this resource, even if I wouldn't trust the if you like this, then that function about as far as I can throw it. So now that we have all come back together and Overdrive recommendations are firmly behind us, I am going to ask Anne to tell us about Taste Dive and what she found, because as we discovered last week, Taste Dive can also be an adventure. So Anne, take it away.
Yeah, definitely an adventure. One of the things I can say about Taste Dive is that it doesn't list the newest books. So searching for Law of Innocence didn't get me anywhere today. So I went the next route, which librarians often do, is to look for the author. And if you look under authors, the first person that comes up is John Sandford, Sandford, and he is often nonfiction. I have actually followed it because it didn't seem like the most logical conclusion for me. I tend to think of Patterson or Baldacci for Michael Connelly lookalikes. John Sandford's real name is John Boswell Park, and he's a New York Times author, American novelist, and former journalist. And the first book that came up was Bad Blood, which is actually a nonfiction book. But again, it's crime fiction, it's it's thrillers, it's a good mix. Next artist that comes up is Harlan Coben. And Harlan Coben is mystery novels and thrillers. Again, I think a nice match, but again, not the first one I'd think of. Third, not too surprising, I think, to anyone here, is David Baldacci, which is a common, connection with Michael Connelly. And those of you that don't know Baldacci's books, just go look it up. I can't remember how many he's published, how many series, how many co-authors, how many everything. But he's prolific at best. Next person is Robert Crais. Again, not someone I would think of, but he's an American author of detective fiction. He wrote for a lot of TV shows like Hill Street Blues, Cagney and Lacey, and then Miami Vice and LA Law. Again, I check it out, see if there's something in Robert Crais's books that sort of appeals to you from your appeals for Michael Connelly's preferences. And the fifth author that they have is Greg Iles, I believe is the pronunciation. And he's a novelist who lives in Mississippi. He's published 17 novels, one novella spanning a variety of genres. But again, has a number of books that are thrillers that sort of, again, from my mind, seems like kind of interesting mesh. I appreciate Taste Dive this week for this particular series because it gave me some authors that I would not think of. So that's my end, ladies.
I don't really read mystery, but I'm very proud that I actually knew all 5 of those authors. So maybe if you ran into me in the library, I wouldn't totally fail you if you came for a mystery book. So now for an algorithm that's a little bit more pointed. Olivia, would you like to tell us what the catalog gave you?
Yeah, so in previous episodes, you'll know that I can use subject headings or genre tags, depending on how I'm feeling that day. So for today, I went with the genre tag of legal stories, mostly because I don't think I've done that one before, trying to switch it up, and I made it so that it would only return books that are available right now at the Westfield Athenaeum. So the first one I got was The Big Lie by James Grippando, and is a courtroom thriller. It is number 16 in the Jack Switek novel series. So I don't know if you have to read them in order, but the catalog will also tell you what is the first one in the series, so you can start from the beginning. The next one is The Holdout, a novel by Graham Moore. And quick little summary. It's the most sensational case of the decade. 15-year-old Jessica Silver, heiress to billion-dollar real estate fortune, vanishes on her way home from school. Her teacher, Bobby Knock, is a 25-year-old African-American man, is the prime suspect after illicit text messages are discovered between them. And Jessica's blood is found in her car. So another courtroom thriller, but also has some race relations involved. The next one is The Satapur Moonstone by Sujata Massey. This is also the second book in the Praveen mystery novel, and it takes place in India, 1922, and again is a courtroom thriller. Next, we have Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. And quick summary, a literary courtroom thriller about a mother accused of murdering her 8-year-old autistic son. And lastly, we have The Perfect Alibi by Phillip Margolin. This is also part of a series. This is the second book in the Robin Lockwood series. And quick, this one is about a young woman who accuses a prominent local college athlete of rape. So I think they're all pretty good books, read-alikes to get now because they're available today at the Westfield Athenaeum.
I super like that Olivia's list also came back with something that wasn't set in America. Let's see if that comes up more in Erica's results, since NoveList sometimes searches along those lines. Although every time I say, NoveList does this really great thing, Erica's like, it didn't do it for this one. So I feel like I sometimes just need to stop talking and let Erica go.
It didn't do it for this one. So we've seen this before where, especially if we're looking at a book that's kind of a number in a series, it'll actually just recommend things based on the idea of, oh, this series is good for this series. So that's kind of what all of our suggestions are. So unfortunately, I don't have good long reasons as to why they're good matches like I do for a lot of them, but I do have some series that'll match. So so the first one we have is A Time to Kill by John Grisham. So this is Jack Brigham's novels. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell me which number in the series it is right off the bat, but so it looks like Jack Briggins has to defend Carl Haley, who killed the men on trial for the rape of his daughter. The next one is Primal Fear by William Diehl. This is Martin Vale novels. So Martin Vale must defend Aaron Stampler, who was discovered covered in blood, holding a butcher knife and crouching near the body of a murdered priest, but who claims to be innocent. So another false accusation one. I'm assuming that sounds pretty clear cut, but you know. The next one is Bear is Broken by Lachlan Smith. This is the Leo Maxwell mysteries. So this is Leo searching for answers when a shooting puts his brother in a coma, a situation that reveals startling truth and dangerous enemies on both sides of the law. So that one sounds like legal thriller maybe, or just crime mystery. That's not necessarily false accusations. Next one, we have The Hidden Man by David Ellis, which is the Jason Coleridge novels. So this is attorney Jason Coleridge is astonished to learn that the suspect of, so a man charged with the vigilante murder of an alleged kidnapper is his estranged childhood best friend. And then the last one is Hostile Witness by William Lashner. This is Victor Carl novels. Victor Carl is a struggling lawyer until a powerful attorney offers him all the wealth, influence, and beautiful women he can imagine, but he has to keep his mouth shut when his client becomes a sacrificial lamb for a powerful city councilman in a case that involves extortion, arson, and murder. So, sounds thrilling. So yeah, like I said, unfortunately with this one, it doesn't tell me the exact reasons why. It just, for all of those, it said this series is like this series. So I think they're probably still pretty good recommendations all across the board based on tone and content and everything, but it doesn't tell me exactly why, which is a bummer. And again, those books might be number in a series that NoveList doesn't tell me right off the bat, unfortunately.
Well, I will say that I did have like less faith in that list when you were immediately like John Grisham, but I think the rest of it really hit on what Anne was talking about, which is that, you know, you say, oh, I like Michael Connelly or David Baldacci or James Patterson, and sometimes there's just a feedback loop and you're like, no, I've read all of these. I know how many they've written, but I've read all of them. So hopefully there's something in this list that is a little bit different, another series for you to branch out into. And like Olivia said, you know, you can look through the catalog and CW Mars Overdrive and get things that are available right now. So if you need to read, hopefully these will help you find more books, because that's always the goal. And we'll be back next time to show you another book and another resource. So thanks for watching. Bye.